이렇게 된 게 다 자기 탓이라고 생각하시는 거예요?
Alright folks, Netflix just dropped the final trailer for Squid Game Season 3, and I know most of you have already watched it, so I'm not going to replay it all the way through. Instead, let's break it down and talk about the hidden gems, the most shocking moments, and the theories that are already blowing up. It kicks off with flashbacks from where it all began, Season 1 and 2. In the present timeline, we see player 149, Gumjar, encouraging Junhi, telling him he still has a purpose despite how everything has spiraled out of control. But here's something I noticed. Gumjar is not shown wearing her jacket in these new teasers. This could be a hint that she's going to use the jacket to help Junhi deliver her baby. It's a detail that might actually mean a lot. One thing I love is how deeply Gumjar seems to understand Junhi now. Her dialogue feels authentic, and honestly, it might be the very thing that gives Junhi his morale back and possibly help them survive this round of games together. Now, most of the scenes from earlier trailers make a return, but there's this chilling shot of No Yul in a gunfight with the masked officer in an elevator. This one's intense. I'm seriously hyped to see how that unfolds. Next up, the jump rope game. I already talked about it in my most recent video, but that earlier footage was in a narrow 9:16 resolution. Now we've got a wider, much clearer view. But here, a notable detail emerges. As player 100 and his allies walk toward the game set, player 226, who's usually seen close to player 100, is missing. This suggests he was eliminated in the fourth game, possibly by Hunju. And yeah, the fifth game is going to be brutal even to watch. The setup is terrifying. The rope looks insanely heavy. Here's how it works. A few players are selected each round and must step onto the start of a bridge. Previously, I thought the game would accommodate one person at a time. When the green light goes on, the dolls start swinging the rope and the players have to jump over it while making progress forward. The goal is to reach the other side where the male doll is standing. But there's a twist. At random intervals, the red light flashes and the rope stops. Players must freeze immediately. If they mess up the timing, they're done. And just like the glass bridge in Season 1, there's a strict time limit. If players don't complete the challenge in time, the guards will likely eliminate them on the spot. Some players appear to be resting on the side near the male doll, likely the winners. There's even a body lying motionless nearby, probably someone who almost made it to the end but was eliminated right before the finish line. Brutal. Then we've got one of the trailer's most emotional moments, Gumjar hugging his son while crying. The scene takes place during the maze game, as you can tell from the surrounding wall patterns that match the posters and teaser shots. I missed a lot of details in this scene in my previous video, so thank you all for pointing them out in the comments. In this scene, Gumjar is wearing a blue vest, while earlier footage showed her assigned to the red team. Her son is now seen in a red vest, suggesting they swapped roles. Since Gumjar isn't strong enough for the red team, which hunts down blue members, they traded places. But there might be blood or some kind of injury on the son's head, and the way he doesn't hug her back, it's like he's motionless. Pair that with Gumjar's cry, and it's not hard to think that she's hugging her son's dead body. Maybe he was killed by a blue team player, and she just found out. Another shocking moment. The jumpsuited guards open fire from a boat, aiming at a distant ship, Junho's. At first glance, it looks like a single boat, but then we get Junho's perspective, clearly showing the origin of the gunfire. This seems to be what the frontman meant in that official clip when he ordered the guards to kill them all. So now the question is, will Junho in this scene escape to the shores, or does he have another plan? Because all we know is that he infiltrated the games alone, so it seems his fellows lost it big time. Then there's a scene that's been confusing a lot of fans. Player 120, Hunju, fighting player 226, who's player 100's ally. His hair in this scene is unmistakably his. Not like the guy in that earlier scene that had fans thinking she was fighting player 007. Originally, many people believed Hunju would go crazy and kill 007, but now it looks like she's actually defending her friends, Gumjar and Junhi, who are also in this scene, though visibly exhausted and distracted. Gumjar even appears to be physically supporting Junhi, who may be weak from her pregnancy. So far, Hunju's appearances have all been in the maze game, where she's either fighting or trying to escape. That's why a lot of people think she won't survive past Game 4. She's constantly bloody, unlike Gumjar, who remains surprisingly clean. Now let's talk about Junhi. There's a powerful shot of her with tears in her eyes. We already know this moment happens during the fifth game. Her look in this scene is a sign of someone enduring pain, not grief. Even in follow-up scenes and other teasers, she looks worn out and desperate for rest. I believe this is the moment before, or right after, she gives birth. And I believe she realizes she's too weak to play the fifth game, so she rested here and accepted her fate. There's also a new scene showing Gihun in his suit, this time in the dining room, not in the frontman's quarters like in earlier scenes. The manager tells him the frontman has summoned him, and Gihun just gives a surprised face. I already speculated that this will be the moment the frontman shows himself to Gihun. Then we're teased with a first look at what appears to be the final game. We can tell it's the final one because the player is wearing shoes similar to those worn by the finalists in Season 1, paired with the familiar black suit. Now, the scene is cleverly edited to throw us off. It cuts from the original Squid Game arena to a glimpse of a new player stepping on a red-lit, pressure-sensitive button that suddenly flashes green. Then, we're back to the Season 1 game set, but with a new twist. There's a mysterious structure nearby, something that looks like monkey bars or a basic playground setup. It seems this game might involve activating or deactivating traps through these floor buttons. Or maybe this could be a revamped version of the original Squid Game, or an entirely new creation with deadly consequences. But there's another curious detail. Beside the button stands an erect metallic pole, adding to the mystery. I assume it might be holding a flag at the top, which led me to believe that the game could be a Squid Game style version of Capture the Flag. For those unfamiliar, Capture the Flag is a traditional sport where two teams with equal number of players compete against each other for a flag. Both the teams are given one flag each, of which they secure in their own territories. The target for each team is to get the other team's flag, which is located at their base, by replacing it with any small object that can be easily carried. Both teams are also required to protect their own flag from being stolen. So, if a player is caught on enemy turf, they can be tagged, leading to consequences like being frozen, sent back, or even switched to the other team. But in Squid Game, we can assume tagged means eliminated. Players are only safe when they're within their own zone. The team that successfully grabs the opponent's flag and brings it back wins. It's a game of stealth, strategy, and split-second decisions, elements that perfectly align with Squid Game's deadly tone. If this theory is true, it could make for one of the most intense and dangerous games we've seen yet. Either way, we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. And finally, in the last scene, Gihun walks into the frontman's room. The voiceover reveals his determination to end the games once and for all. After everything, losing hope, giving up, he rises again, more focused than ever. But will he succeed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think will make it out alive? Oh, and before I forget, in my previous video, I mentioned that the jump rope game lasts 6 minutes based on the footage from this promo video. But shout out to FNAF Bros for Life for pointing out the error. Turns out I misread that scene. The timer is actually displaying the show's release date. Now, mark your calendars. June 27th is about to become a global public holiday for Squid Game fans. Don't say I didn't warn you.